Okay, you have 1 minute for this question. And this is a follow-up question to the previous one. What are your thoughts on how the district is currently incorporating technology into the curriculum? And do you have specific examples of what other high-achieving districts are doing that you would like to try here? And we'll start with you, Richard.
I think the district is doing an excellent job incorporating technology. We have smart boards in I think it's every classroom right now. We are building a new science wing. We have laptops, the cows, what people in school here, the cows are, I don't know what it stands for. But it's the laptops in every classroom. So I think we're doing a good job, and of course we will continue to add technology. In terms of other districts, one thing specifically, Palo Alto High School has an excellent newspaper. We don't have a newspaper anymore at our high school. Palo Alto has an excellent newspaper, an online newspaper, a daily television broadcast. They use technology to tie the community together, to give the students a voice, to have them as a part of that education, creating the education on their campus. We now have this magnificent new theater, all the technology in the theater, in the back rooms. We should be doing that. That should be starting almost immediately.
Thank you. Frida.
Yes. I agree with Richard. I visited public schools and some private schools down in LA in similar economic standing with us, and they have, and we have exactly the same things. The schools up north in the Palo Alto area also, we're all using a lot of the same curriculum as far as math goes. I hear about another, I think is it Singapore math? That's the only thing that I kind of heard of that I don't believe we're doing here. But as far as smart boards technology, the science labs definitely needs updating. We're right within all the schools within the state. Obviously, with new things coming out, it'd be nice if we could be all in agreement of improving things if the funds are here. But I think we're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Technology is a great equalizer for a lot of different students, and we have a lot of great technology in our district. I think we can improve in those areas. One thing that we are thinking of doing is going to cloud computing so that we have one central server to run all of our computers. It makes the individual computers that the students use much less expensive to maintain, and they just all feed into the power of the main computer. So that's one area that we're going to look into. Also, I think it's really important to fund this on a regular basis. Years ago, when I had the opportunity, I made the suggestion that we start having technology be a regular part of our budget. And that was a 0.5% of our expenditure budget every year through a strategic plan that we as a district put together. And it was an idea that I got from other school districts that I work with and brought forward. Thank you.
I agree with Annette. Technology is a great equalizer for many students. And on that note, I would like to see us, at least at the high school level, possibly middle school too, move toward the trend of issuing iPads to students and having students use ebooks as opposed to big heavy textbooks. I've had parents complain to me about the weight of their kids' backpacks and causing their kids to have back problems. I think that would solve a lot of issues, and that it would help kids using that technology.
I think the district's done a really, really good job with technology, and technology is very difficult for public schools because of the costs involved in it and the rapidly changing landscape of technology in terms of things becoming cheaper, more efficient, and it's a bit of a black hole. However, Carmel Unified has really done a nice job. The cows, by the way, which are computers on wheels, and they are not out in the pasture, but it's a nice way of getting that technology into the classroom. But the district has also provided really good home-to-school communication. You want to know where your students' grades are? Push a button. Attendance records, behavior records, all of those things. administrative management and scheduling, all of that is completely online. The one thing I'd like to see us do more with, if we can, and we have done some good things with this, is outreach to the communities in the Carmel Unified School District that don't have good access. That would be Kashawa, Big Sur, and the rural areas where it has to be done via satellite connection. And a lot of those parents in those communities could use the help.
Thank you. Okay, and Rita, you're first this time. You have 1 minute. Our country has been dealing with the effects of the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001, which made test-based competency in math and English the main focus of many schools, and which has severely impacted the way Carmel Unified teachers structure their academic lessons and schedules. How important do you think it is to maintain and increase our student test scores, and what other metrics would you like to initiate for understanding and tracking student learning, especially beyond math and English?
Okay. Well, as far as maintaining the test scores, I feel like it's important to maintain. And I think that's one of our challenges right now, is to maintain the test scores that we've achieved over the last 5 years. Now, increasing the test scores, there's only so much stress that me personally, I feel like I could be part of, to put on the kids to keep increasing these test scores. I believe that each child, with the right counseling and the right parenting, and with their teachers, because the teachers know them best also, they're pushing the kids to their limits, and it may be different for each child. And they have strengths and skills in different areas, whether it's math, science, arts, music. So I believe we're doing a good job right now. I don't personally feel comfortable just pushing the test scores for the sake of pushing them. I'd like to look into other different learning skills and beyond math and English, and that is arts and science, arts and music and other subject areas. Thanks.
Hi. With respect to No Child Left Behind, unfortunately, it is the standard way that we are judged. So we have to keep up with our test scores. I don't think it's the most important way that we measure our students, but we happen to do well with respect to them. I think we need to maintain our very high test scores at all of our elementary schools, and we need to increase our test scores at both the middle school and the high school. Even though we have made incredible progress over the last 4, 5, 6 years in those in math, in middle school and high school, we still have a long ways to go in those areas. And that's a nationwide trend, and we need to put more energy in that way. In terms of other subject areas other than math and English, I think it's important to let our teachers lead the way. They've created benchmark tests for us that help test where our students are, and they've done an incredible job with that, and I think we need to let the professionals help us in that way.
Okay, as far as maintaining the test scores go, the way No Child Left Behind is structured, schools have to make progress every year with the goal to be for every child to be scoring proficient by the year 2014. It's up for reauthorization, and that hopefully will change because that's an unrealistic goal. But it is important to track that and to track progress. And we do need to, I think, make some changes at the middle school and high school level, as Annette said, because there is a drop-off between the elementary school scores and middle school and high school scores, and I think we need to look into that and do some investigation and figure out what's going on and why that is. As far as metrics for initiating understanding, for tracking student learning, the benchmarks are very important. They need to continue to be done by teachers in the classroom just to track a child's progress as the year goes on.
Well, I think that one of the problems with the test scores is that we've given up on multiple measures of assessment. And a student is a lot more than a score. As you know, all high schools and middle schools have difficulty maintaining the kind of scores that elementary schools achieve. And quite frankly, I feel sorry for River School because it's so high that it's really difficult to maintain that status. It's much easier to raise a school's status than it is to maintain it. My last year as principal at the high school, we were at 870 API, a 10-10 school, meaning 10 decile, and in the top comparison then. Ranked number 70 in the state, many of those schools ahead of us were magnet schools. So I think it's important, but I think it's also important to remember that it's just as stressful for teachers as it is for the students, and here's why. You lose a little bit of the art of teaching when you focus on just standards-based education.
I think it's important that we maintain our scores. The STAR tests themselves are valid tests of the curriculum. It is the curriculum that is adopted by our schools. And so I think they're valid. They shouldn't be the sole method by which we assess how well we're doing. And we're doing very well. As Annette had said, and I believe Mary, the benchmarking that teachers have incorporated into their teaching practices, whereby they are constantly, week by week, checking to see if students are understanding the curriculum. That's a tremendous advantage, and that we need to initiate. It's there, and it should be supported. In terms of metrics for tracking learning, we have the AP and the SATs for the high school students, and those test how well they have learned those advanced courses. So, thank you.